Before we talk about the game, I just want to say how awesome it is to have the West Coast games being played during the afternoon instead of super late at night. In fact, I'd like to propose the motion for that to always be the case.
I second that motion.
Thank you. Wait, who's in my house? Yeah.
Woohoo! Is this the we are in it for a week? Yes. Can't get any better.
Welcome to Hawks Recap. Game 66 is over and done with, and the Blackhawks lose this one to the Anaheim Ducks by a score of 6-3. And even though it wasn't 7-2, this one could have been a lot worse. This game was disappointing not only because of the results in this game, but also just the lack of intensity by the Hawks. They're playing a team, once again, who's very much battling for a playoff spot in the Anaheim Ducks. And the Hawks just come out with zero intensity the first half of this game. Forsberg playing the second straight game. This is the back end of a back-to-back, so you kind of expect some sluggishness, but it wasn't there. The Blackhawks have done a pretty darn good job getting on the board first in a lot of the recent games. This game would be different, though. 2.5 minutes in, the Ducks are on the power play, and a nice little give-and-go play between Getzlaf and Raquel. Getzlaf just sets it on a tee for Raquel right in front of the net. Some poor coverage from Seabrook and Keith defensively, and Raquel just puts it 5-hole in between Forsberg's legs, and the Ducks are the ones that grab the 1-0 lead early in this game. The Ducks would extend their lead 4 minutes after that. They try to make a cross-ice pass in the neutral zone. They miss the pass, and Dahlstrom actually knocks it out of the air. Bad luck for him. It kind of goes straight to Getzlaf, and he's now out of position. It actually ends up turning into a 2-on-1 with Corey Perry with the puck, and he just kind of walks in, and Osterley does nothing, and Perry just kind of spins around and dunks it on Forsberg. Forsberg has no chance. Very poor effort from Osterley, but just bad break with Dahlstrom kind of right at the blue line there. But yeah, not good. The Blackhawks would have their only 2 power plays in the first period, but they just really couldn't get anything going because of just some terrible passing. And that was something that just bugged them throughout the first period and halfway through the second period. They couldn't go tape to tape with their passes. They failed to get out of their defensive zones because of it. They failed to get through the neutral zone because of it. It was just pucks into skates and just airmailing passes. It was bad. It was a struggle. So the Ducks go into the second period up by 2, and then the opening draw of the second period, we see a fight. And it's between Ryan Kesler, okay, and Jonathan Toews, okay. I get what Toews is trying to do here. You're the captain. You're trying to spark your team here, especially after a big comeback win against the Kings. You're trying to get that same intensity to try and come back from a 2-goal deficit here. I get it. You're the captain. Just trying to spark your team. And I dislike Kesler as much as the next guy. But I just don't like Toews sitting out for 5+ minutes in a game. One of the better players on our team. And then taking out Kessler's good, but he's missed a big chunk of this season. He really hasn't been that great this season. You're just playing right into their hands. You're playing into Kessler's and the Ducks' hands. Kesler, the biggest thing in his game is agitating and trying to piss you off. And we kind of just fall for it here. Now, obviously, hindsight is 20/20. If the Hawks end up scoring 2 goals here, then it looks great. But obviously, it didn't work in this case. And just right when it started, I just didn't have a good feeling about it. 2 minutes into the second period, Pettersson throws a wrist shot from the point on target, and there's just a lot of bodies in front. I don't think Forsberg really ever saw it. It may have redirected off maybe a Blackhawks player in front, maybe just a tad bit. But it gets by Forsberg, and the Ducks are up 3-0 now. And then 6.5 minutes into the second period, the Ducks with some offensive zone time, some pressure. They're forechecking, they're controlling the puck. Cogliano gets it below the goal line. He centers it out. The Blackhawks are there defensively, but the puck just doesn't bounce their way. It bounces straight to Silfverberg's stick, and he rips a shot by Forsberg. And the Ducks are now up 4-0, and Jonathan Toews in the penalty box for 6.5 minutes because of the 5-minute fighting penalty. And he goes in, down 2-0, comes out down 4-0. Obviously, it didn't work. So the fight really didn't do anything to spark the team, but Coach Q ends up pulling Forsberg and putting in Berube to try and spark something, and, well, that seemed to work because the latter half of the second, the Blackhawks just seemed like a completely different team. With about 5 minutes left in the second period, the Hawks, with a delayed penalty, so they get the extra skater from pulling their goalie, and Keith gets over to Murphy, who then one-times it on net, and Yurko's right there to redirect it. It gets by Gibson, and all of a sudden now it's a 4-1 game, and the Hawks seem to have the Ducks on their heels a bit. The Hawks could have easily got another goal or two in that second period, but Gibson made some really, really good saves to keep this a 3-goal game going into the third. If the Hawks score there, this is a completely different game. The Hawks would carry that good play over into the third period, and a minute in, Schmaltz takes the puck in the neutral zone and just takes it all the way in, blows by the defender, shoots it 5-hole, it gets by Gibson, and look out, it's a 4-2 game. It's a 2-goal game, and looking back at the Kings game, we just might have the Ducks right where we want them now. Unfortunately, the same type of comeback magic would not be apparent in this game, as 7 minutes into the third period, Kessler would read a pass at the blue line and take the puck in. He would throw the puck towards the front of the net where it would kind of bounce around. There was a little bit of a scramble, and Silverberg would find a way to get his stick on the puck, and the puck just kind of trickles in 5-hole past Berube, and thwarts the comeback of the Hawks. The Ducks are up 5-2. Then with a little over 5 minutes left to go in the third period, the Ducks would have the puck in the offensive zone, do a good job moving around without the puck, cycling a little bit. Getzlaf would get to Fowler right in the slot because Yurko missed his defensive assignment. Then Fowler passes over to Perry, who's just all alone on the side of the net. Berube would actually make a great initial save, but the puck would then bounce straight back to Perry's stick, and he would just kind of lift it right over Berube's pad and into the back of net. His second goal of the game, and it is now 6-2 Ducks. 2.5 minutes left to go in the game, and some nice forechecking by Hinostroza, Schmaltz, and DeBrincat. Hinostroza would win the puck battle below the goal line. He would get it out front to DeBrincat, who would make a nice one-touch pass over to Schmaltz, who was all alone with a wide-open cage, and he buries it for his second of the game. Makes the score 6-3. Game's pretty much all but over from there, but still nice to see the Hawks with a little bit of fight still left. That line had a really good game today. I thought Highmore probably played his best game as an NHLer. Now it's a very small sample size, but he's getting better, and that's what you want to see out of a young player. He also had his first goal as well in his career, but Gibson had to rob him on a wraparound. Camp, I thought, had a pretty darn good game. Murphy had a good game, but other than those guys, it was a struggle for pretty much the rest of the Hawks. Up next for the Hawks, they come back home to the United Center to play the Colorado Avalanche, another team very much fighting for a playoff spot. These two teams haven't played each other since late October when the Avalanche beat the Hawks, but they're now going to play 3 times in March here to finish off this season. It's a weird kind of scheduling quirk, but it gives the Hawks a chance to kind of play spoilers a little bit, so it's kind of interesting. And with that, I say thank you so much for watching this episode of Hawks Recap. I really hope you enjoyed it. At least I hope you enjoyed it more than the results of this game. Let me know your thoughts on the game and the team's performance down in the comments section below. Like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it if you do. But most importantly, as always, stay safe, make good decisions, and I'll see you next time.